Our correspondent Mohammed Adow is live for us on Mauritania's border with Mali. Mohammed, I mean, quite incredible, isn't it, that Timbuktu's been retaken without a shot being fired? I suppose the next task is possibly the more difficult one.
Indeed, Jane. Timbuktu was taken without a shot fired, as we had in Jackie's report there. And the French and Malian forces also have the town of Gao to the northeast. We know now that they have their sights on further north and on the town of Kidal, which is the third most important city in the north of Mali. Which now reports indicate that might fall like Timbuktu without any resistance from the rebels. But the retaking of these towns, the capturing of these towns, does not mark the end of this conflict. The rebels are promising a long and bruising conflict with the Malians and the French forces who are supporting them. Just before they left Timbuktu, Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, the leadership, one of the leaders, said that they are expert in desert warfare and they're looking forward to engaging the French and Malian forces on the desert. We also know that the French have taken these towns, but they are also waiting for the deployment of African troops, said to be numbering up to 8,000 now. So far, the troops pledged and who are arriving in their hundreds in Bamako, some of them also crossing the borders Mali has with Burkina Faso and Niger. And these are the troops that are supposed to secure these places and continue the conflict against the rebels. Most of them do not have desert combat tactics or expertise, and the European Union is now saying that it's preparing to train them on this kind of expertise.
But they can't do any of this without money, can they? I mean, I know they're asking for something like $450 million to fund the operations in Mali. How are they going to get this money?
Well, it has to come from donor countries, and right now there seems to be a lot of goodwill towards Mali. The head of the UN peacekeeping mission, the head of the Department of the Peacekeeping Operations of the United Nations, has said that $450 million is an amount that can be easily funded. However, will it be enough? Because what we know, some countries are just sending these troops so that they get the money that peacekeepers are given, and one of them is the country of Burundi, which is just emerging from a conflict itself, but has been very eager to take part in peacekeeping operations to make sure that the hundreds of troops that they have just demobilized and added onto the national army are kept busy outside the country. So there is a lot of interest. There are those who want to politically involve themselves in the Mali conflict, like, for example, Chad, which has got a very big stake in Mali, and Mali coming back to the community of nations and becoming a strong nation once again. So all these troops now, 450 million, with all that is needed in the desert and all this vast territory, because the north of Mali is huge and mostly a very desolate desert. 450 million might not be enough, and funds were always the problem. In fact, this operation was supposed to begin September this year, and all this was because of lack of funds. Now, that, whether they're going to get the money, is another issue.
All right, thank you for that, Mohammed Adow.